everyone. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'll be taking a look at what I think is the best weapon for every class in Battlefield 2042. Now let's enjoy the slightly racist and humorous video.
Nice.
The SWS-10 is a very good gun in many ways in Battlefield 2042, but one of the main reasons why it's very good is because of its accuracy. It has extremely good accuracy, not to mention it has a very quick reload and it holds a lot of ammo. It holds 12 bullets with 1 in the chamber with extended mag, and I believe it holds 11 with 1 in the chamber with standard issue. And it's pretty much only worth using with standard issue and extended mag just because high power you don't get hardly any ammo with it, which really sucks. Same with armor piercing, which just really sucks, and I wouldn't recommend using it at all. But other than that, well, when we move on to attachments, one attachment that is really good is the 8x thermal scope. This attachment is extremely OP for this gun for several reasons. Reason number 1, it's easy to see any enemy from any distance anywhere. Number 2, well, it's just really good. I don't really have much to say. It's extremely good, it's extremely accurate. The SWS-10 is probably the best starter weapon in Battlefield 2042, the best starter sniper, just because, well, it's the first sniper you unlock, and you also have to wait a ton of ranks to get the next sniper. And it's also just very good overall. Just for a recon class, it's extremely good. It does very decent damage, just overall very good. And one notable note about this gun is it has extremely a low bullet drop. It has almost no bullet drop to begin with, and if it does, you're going to be aiming up at an exact point. You're not going to be aiming up very far, and it's just a very fun gun to use. It's extremely good, it has high mobility, and there's probably a reason why I've maxed this gun out. Probably because it's extremely good. I've used it a lot, and that resulted in me pretty much maxing the thing out. And let's move on to the next weapon. Next up is the M5A3. It is one of the best assault rifles in Battlefield 2042 that I've unlocked so far, I think. And this is because it has a lot of versatility. It's great for both close and mid-range, and a lot of assault rifles just seem to do one of the two. They either seem to do really well at close or really good at mid. Another good thing about this gun, it has really good recoil. Its recoil is surprisingly easy to control for an assault rifle compared to others especially, and I just find it to have really decent recoil. Just decent. Especially with the damage output. It does 50 base damage, even though you'll never be 2-tapping anyone, unless you're 2-tapping someone in the head at really close range. But that 50 damage does make a difference, and you will be doing really good damage with this gun, which is an advantage. It also has a pretty decent fire rate for most assault rifles, and it might be something going on here, but it's pretty much the definition of average to slightly above average. It's pretty much a slightly above average assault rifle in Battlefield 2042. It's good with pretty much any attachments you put on it. That being said, there are some things I like to recommend. That reflex sight that I'm using right here, it might not be the reflex sight, I don't remember what it's called, but any grip and really any red dot sight is pretty good with it, and scopes are pretty good with it too. It doesn't seem to have a lot of recoil with those, and that's pretty much it for the M5A3. Now we have the PBX-45. Now this is actually one of the only above average guns on this tier list, I guess you would call it. It's one of the only guns that is really good compared to other guns in its tier. And this SMG is really one of those guns. It is amazing for what you get. It's extremely light. It comes with everything you would want in an SMG. It does very good damage. It has extremely low recoil, and that might sound like every other SMG, but this one, it takes those things to another level. It's amazing. It's great, and if you do grind it enough, like I did to get extended standard issue, it's really OP, because having an SMG with 40 bullets in it is amazing. It's one of the most overpowered things Battlefield 2042 has released, and this is definitely one of them. Having extended standard issue mags hold 40 bullets with a super quick reload like it does. Like, it's under a second, I'm pretty sure, how fast that reload is with the PBX 45. And this gun is just, it's good. It's one of those guns where it's good no matter what attachments you have on it. And even though I do like to run it with certain attachments that do give it a slight advantage or make it feel right for me, it's just one of those guns where I could run it stock and I would still do great with it, because it's just one of those guns that will do amazing without any attachments. And even though there's muzzle brakes and sights and all that, it's just one of those guns, you know. I've said this before, I'll say again. It's one of those guns that can do just fine stock, and it's really easy to get kills with overall. It has really great close range, okay-ish medium range, and just terrible long range as you expect. But the one recommendation I do have is using it, if you don't have standard issue extended, I recommend using it with close combat. Close combat is especially good for some reason in this gun. It has really low recoil, and I just find it to be especially good. Even if it's not good for further ranges, I just find it to be really good for this gun. Anyways, moving on to the last gun on this list.
You gotta be quicker than that, buddy.
So now we're on to the last gun on this list, and that is the Vankiest, or whatever the hell you say it. And it really isn't that good, but compared to other options, it's probably one of the best. And we're gonna start off with what's good about it. What's good about it is it has very reliable damage output, so you're going to be doing about the same amount of damage pretty much all the time, unless you're at super close range or super long range. Pretty much, you'll be doing pretty much the same damage all the time. What's also good about it is it doesn't have terrible bullet velocity, so that's another good thing. And it does, as an LMG, it does have a huge magazine capacity, though if you unlock anything other than standard issue, it's useless because it will hold 50 rounds, which is terrible compared to 100, and it's not worth it for the extra 5 damage you will get. It also has a pretty quick reload for an LMG, which is pretty good, as always. But other than that, there aren't tons of pros to be listed. There are some cons that I will go over in a second. And about those cons, that it's a very heavy weapon. It will take a lot to get used to with mobility and stuff. You move very slow with it. And it has a very large hitbox, so it covers a lot of your screen. And you can't really use it aggressively too much because of just the reload speed and damage output and everything like that. So it's not very good to begin with, but it's probably one of the better options. It's much better compared to the first LMG you can unlock, but it's also not great. It's not a great LMG either, but it's the best one for early ranks. And if you are an early rank, just wait and rank up until you have a much better LMG. Just don't use any of the starter LMGs, they're pretty terrible. And once you unlock the BKP or whatever that is, start using that, because that's actually a decent one. But anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did enjoy it, please subscribe and all that. See you in the next one.